Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Wynn in Magical Diary. We are participating in a sports club right now, and it is currently Sunday and we're playing a game of football. Virginia has the ball and is making her way along the floor towards Ellen at the goal. I cut in and try to steal, but she twists and sidesteps. Before I can spin and correct, she's lined up her angle, one swift kick and the ball flies through the air. What are you guys doing? No one stops to acknowledge Jacob's entrance until after Ellen has successfully blocked the goal. This is a sports club meeting. What are you doing here? Maybe I want to play. I'm a fit guy, right? Fine, whatever. Alright. He closes his eyes briefly and there is a tingle of green magic. Hey! You can't do that! Do what? No magic allowed! What are you talking about? We're wizards. This is real sports, not bounders. Guys? Is everything okay? This one says you guys are refusing to use magic. What's the point in that? This one? It's just a game. It doesn't need magic to be fun. It's unnatural. Magic is what we are. It's my club, and I say there's no magic allowed. Without magic, it's just the same kiddies games we've all played all our lives. Here we finally have the chance to use all our skills. It is true that outside of a school like this, no one would be allowed to use any sort of magical enhancement while playing games. So why do we have to be told... Sorry. So why should we have to hold back from the best we can do? Because it's the rules? Ellen steps forward to support her roommate. People without magic still have to hold back in order to play fair. You don't pick up the ball in soccer. You don't beat up the other team to stop them from reaching the goal. Unless you're playing hockey, but I take her point. You do your best within the rules. That's good sportsmanship. Jacob snorts. Maybe we should take a vote on these rules. You appreciate the idea of playing with fire, don't you, Charles? How about a flying basketball? No, let's not. We've already voted without you. You're not even a member of this club. We already made our decision on what we wanted to play. Yeah. Just because you think you're all that, you waltz in here and you demand people do things your way? Start your own club. Not the most diplomatic way of putting it, but she's right. Do you still want to play? She's looking up at Jacob with big eyes, full of hope. Does she actually like him, even though she stood in his way? Call me when you play a real game. He leaves and the girls relax. Good riddance. Why are boys so rude? Charles wasn't rude. Okay, fair. And William isn't either. Not all boys are awful, I guess. That's better. No, she wasn't interested in Jacob. She was just a natural peacekeeper. She probably gets a lot of practice having Virginia as a roommate. Come on, let's get back to the game. We continue our match without further interruptions. At the end of the week, yada yada, alright, let's go done. I am currently at 14 stress, and also it's October 14th. I need to... Hold on one second, I need to open up my, my notepad here to see... where is it? To see what day that I need to record up until... I don't think it's now, but I think it's soon. If I can even find it here. No, okay, I'll need to open up Notepad and search for it that way. I did recently clean out my computer, however, so I'm hoping... Oh no, there it is. I'm hoping I didn't lose it. Oh, it's unavailable. Well, okay, that's fine. I'll just check the the video that I've already recorded that's in the future of this canon. Anyway, on Monday morning I come out to my room into the middle of a conversation. Have to help me. You could let me carry the bucket myself. I probably wouldn't have spilled it. You shouldn't have filled it out so full. Hey, it's cool. His shoes look better that way anyway. Oh, is that what happens to Gravener's shoes? I should have guessed. Yeah, but how am I going to earn those merits back? I asked you if you wanted to help with gardening. Isn't there something easier? How can gardening be hard? We only had to dig holes in the mud. Something not dirty. How is mud dirtier than Jersey dung? Something else. Ugh. Try the library? Potsdam sometimes pins up requests in the back. The back of what? The back of the library. Like I said. Right. I leave them to sort out their plans while I try to decide on my schedule for the week. Yeah, since I lost that notepad with my latest computer cleanup, don't worry, all the videos are still there. I hope they are. I'll double check. But anyway, since I've lost those that episode guide, I'm just going to do one green magic and a few black magic. It is very likely that when we get back to the videos I've already recorded, some of the stats will be different, but just bear with them. I'll give you a disclaimer when that happens as well. As I head back to my room, I hear someone coughing. I don't think anything of it until the cough repeats, louder and obviously fake. I look up to see Luke leaning against the wall, his eyes twitching nervously back and forth. You okay? He gulps. Charles? Yes? Can you tell me how to find the library? He doesn't know where it is? I guess, but why didn't you ask Donald? I don't want him to think I'm stupid. He always gets things faster than I do. Sometimes I don't even know what he's talking about. So I have to fake it. Sometimes I don't know what he's talking about either. I don't get his references because I'm not from here, so I just ask. I don't think he'd be mean about it. I hate being the dumb twin. It's not dumb to not know things if nobody told you them in the first place. So, can you tell me how to find the library? Come on, I'll show you. I lead Luke to the library. Here you go. Books, magazines, and the librarian, Miss Darden. Hi? Haven't you been here before, child? No? I see. That must have been your brother. Yeah. He heads off into the back and promptly swings his arms into the magazine rack, knocking several issues onto the floor. Oh, sorry. Lord have mercy. He scrambles around to pick up everything he dropped. I don't really need anything here. I should probably go back to my room. As I'm thinking that, I notice Ellen sitting at a table with a stack of books, scowling down at one that she has open. Is she doing a research project? I haven't had any assigned in my classes. Is there extra tuition somewhere that I don't know about? So I'm both scheming and sporty? Interesting. William asked me to try to get to know Ellen, and I haven't really done much of that so far. Absolutely, talk to her. I seat myself across the table from Ellen and speak softly. After all, this is a library. Are you writing a paper? Huh? I tip my head towards her stack of books. What class assigned that? Oh, it's not a paper. It's not for a class. I was just reading. If it's recreational, why was she scowling? Virginia, my roommate, said that witches don't celebrate Columbus Day. She said history was different here, but I'm not sure what she meant. The past is the past. It already happened. It can't change, can it? So I'm trying to find references in the school history books, but no one ever mentions Columbus. So was Virginia right about that? Do wizards have a taboo about saying his name? She makes these things up sometimes. Who's Columbus? What? Oh, I suppose he wouldn't be very important where you're from. I don't know if that's true. I never attended a low-world school. Oh wow, low-world. There's just something about that seems derogatory, but it's thematic. Like, wizards are looking down at the regular world. What's even interestinger, because interestinger is now a word, is that this whole premise of a high magic society was made by what they would call low-worlders. So it is our own perspective that any magical world will be somehow higher than the world that we're currently living in, which, honestly, I fully agree with. Like, there's no problems with that. If there were a magic-based society out there, and they did actually exist, which would add to the whole realism of a magical society, we wouldn't know about it, and they would probably consider us lesser. But anyway, that's beside the point. A little bit of high magic world building talk there. She shifts her she shifts her shoulders, taking up her lecturer's demeanor. Christopher Columbus was a Spanish explorer, or maybe Italian, but he sailed for Spain. He led one of the first expeditions across the sea from Europe to America, when people in Europe didn't know it existed. He was looking for Japan, but he found the Caribbean instead. He was actually pretty terrible. He killed all the Indians, Native Americans, he could find or kidnapped them for slaves. Serves the explorers right, they all got syphilis. Whoa. Wow. Realizing what she just said, she realizes what she just said and turns pink. It's not hard to guess how and why slave takers picked up a sexual disease. I wave my hand to brush away that and encourage her to continue. Anyway, he's considered important because he discovered America, and today would be a holiday for him in the normal world. So I'm trying to figure out what's different here. Did you ask the librarian? That's how I got these books, but they don't seem to have any answers. At least I'm not seeing them. Well, I'm sorry I can't help. I know even less about it than you do. Thanks anyway. I leave her to a project. Aw, good old Ellen. Professor Potsdam steps to the front of the class looking solemn. Are we at green 20? When you face challenges in life, my seedlings, it is always preferable to resolve them with wit and friendship. Positive solutions strengthen you and grant you more options for your future. Sometimes, however, it may be necessary for you to defend yourself. You are not required to stand helpless in the face of danger. With green magic, you can directly affect the energy of any living creature, causing them to become temporarily ill. Temporary because of a spell called sickness that will wear off in a day or so, even if it is not healed. It is not fatal, but in the heat of combat, a terrible stomach pain is permanent enough. Remember, the spell is an attack. It'll cause pain and suffering. It might even incapacitate someone. It is not a prank. Anyone misusing green magic against their classmates will be punished accordingly. Now, would anyone like to volunteer to be a test subject? I promise to heal you quickly. Wow. She's a lovely old woman, but she definitely has a bit of intimidation to her. Well, a lot of intimidation to her, I suppose. But she can turn it on and off. In the middle of the night, I wake up with a need to visit the toilet. This won't take long. I pull on my robes and my socks, and the floors can be cold even during the day. I step out into the hall. Then I hear something odd. Footsteps? Running? Why would someone be running in the halls at this hour of the night? Are they coming this way? I peer out into the darkness as the footsteps grow closer, unsure what to do. There's a flicker of movement at the far end of the corridor, and then the footsteps are past, gone, receding. Whoever it was just ran past Wolf Hall completely. Are they being chased? I can't hear anything else, but depending on what it is, I might not. It doesn't really have anything to do with me. Follow the footsteps? Let's do it. I'll have to be quick. I sprint down the hall in the direction that I heard the runner going. Whoever or whatever that was, he's already got a head start, so I may be too late. Out of nowhere, some force shoves me backwards. My sock feet slip out from under me and I crash down onto the hallway floor. Did someone just attack me? I scramble up as fast as I can, but my socks keep wanting to slide on the smooth surface underfoot. I don't know what happened. I didn't see anyone. It must have been magic, but where was the spellcaster? Was he invisible? I listen, but I don't hear any more movement. Quietly now, I ease my way to the next turning and peer down the hall. Nothing. No one. Was someone there at all? Was it a phantasm or a shadow? Or just a prank of some sort? Without more clues, I cannot know. I return to my own hall, but I keep my eyes open, just in case. I'm just thinking that my poor memory is actually serving me a bit of a blessing here, because sometimes I don't know what I'm going to get into, despite the fact that I've already played through this before. You can just call me Wynn the Goldfish. Sure, why not? Charlie Goldfish, how's that? Professor Potsdam walks around the room, her position marked by the jingling of her bells. Oh, we're at Black 15. Cool. Now, imagine, if you will, that you found a lovely piece of jewelry in a hidden hoard. Or, for those of you who would never steal, that someone has gifted it to you. Is it actually stealing to take treasure from a dungeon? Before you put on your lovely new acquisition, how can you tell if it is safe? After all, a cursed ring might snap shut and bite your finger clean off. Ooh, that's vicious. Good idea for a D&D game, yeah. The wise witch always checks for charms. Determining the exact nature of an enchantment laid upon an object requires focus and experience. As a freshman, for the most part you will only be able to tell if an object is enchanted, but not how. An enchanted object might be cursed to explode when touched, or blessed to grant protection when carried. Or it might do nothing at all, and simply be a container to hold excess magic. But if you detect that the floor in a particular location is charmed, it is probably a trap. Now, can you tell which planks I have set traps on while I've been walking around this room? Try not to get caught. It takes several minutes of paranoia and a lot of hopping to get out of the classroom safely. Oh, that would be an evil trick. The bell rings, class is over, but your teacher tells you that she's magically charmed the wood tiles across the classroom to to do something. Like, she's trapped them somehow. I don't even know what it'll do. Like, I don't know, maybe change your hair color, or maybe put your underwear on the outside of your clothes or something. I don't know. I learned a new spell. I don't know where that last one came from. Don't ask me. What did I run into last night? Another student, most likely. Why attack me? I wasn't involved in whatever was going on. I was just trying to see what was happening. Whoever it was didn't want to be caught. He was running away, but not just from me, because it was the running that I heard in the first place. Running away from what? I didn't see anyone following. Maybe he'd done something bad and was trying to get away from the scene of the crime? I didn't hear any uproar today, but it might have only been a prank. I don't go out at night very often. Maybe there's another reason for people to run by and fall in the dark. Who would know? Let's just leave it. Well, it probably doesn't matter anyway. Black Magic class success. Why would I leave it? Because since pressing that button I realised what this is going to lead to, and it's not overly relevant to our progress here. Footsteps in the hall signal the usual Saturday morning distributions, but nothing for me. Oh, have I don't believe I put on my my stuff. How do I put on my my things? Oh man, I forgot how to put on my things. Charles Wynn, that's the false name. Yeah, okay, whatever. How do I put on my things? I can't remember how to put on my things. Go to dungeon, mall, study. I mean, we're gonna go study, but Minnie Cochran is here. Sure, I'll study with her. We learn some white magic, sure. Trying to work out what to write in my next letter home. I've stayed up later than I intended. I can't call this evening anymore. It's night, and I should get to bed. As I start to prepare for sleep, I hear footsteps in the hall outside. The footsteps walk past my door and keep going. Who's out there? Quietly, I crack open the door and peer outside just in time to see a figure disappear around the corner. I only saw him for a moment, but that was definitely William's ponytail. Does this have something to do with the person, or whatever, that attacked me the other night? What is he up to? Of course we're gonna sneak. William's got his boots on, I don't. If I'm quiet, he won't hear me. Leaving my door ajar, I follow William down the dark passageways. Luckily for me, he's just walking along, not checking behind him or making any attempt at stealth. He doesn't seem worried about being caught or followed. He's not walking towards the other sleeping halls. He's heading past upper-level classrooms. They aren't his goal either. At last he comes to a door, an exit door. From the location this goes out behind the building. I don't think I've ever been there. I slide swiftly along the floor to catch the door before it closes and ease myself out after him. There's a little courtyard, mostly surrounded by buildings. Unlike the decorative flower arrangement out front, here there is nothing but bare grass. I wonder if we could play games out here. A paved path leads away into the shadow of the trees. That's where William's headed. I squint into the gloom. There's another smaller building over that way. What is it? Ugh, I'm so busy trying to see what's up ahead that I trip over a loose stone in the path. What? He turns at the sound. There's nowhere to hide, and he spots me instantly. Charles? What are you doing? Guarding your back. The other night when I was out on my own, someone attacked me. I wanted to see if anything would happen and be ready. Attacked you? I heard someone running in the halls, and I went to see who it was, and then something invisible knocked me down. I don't know what happened. But you weren't hurt. No. You know, people who are out at night usually don't want to be followed. Right. You're just lucky I'm not paranoid enough to attack every sound I hear. Go back to bed. Maybe next time, don't spy on people. I suppose I have no choice. I make my way back to Wolf Hall, still wondering. Today, when we meet him for our nature walk, Balthazar is carrying a small plastic bucket. These are night crawlers. They're very popular with fish. They don't have enough mind to respond to a call, but you can draw them up by hand if you're patient. I don't know a call spell anyway. You want a wet night, nice and dark, and you've got to be quiet. Footsteps can scare them back underground. You can catch the tip in your fingers, and if you pull up real slowly, all the way out of the hole, and you pull up okay. Would anyone like to hold one? This does actually sound rather suggestive, to be honest with you. Like, take a look at this in the out of context, and go ahead and have a giggle. No one looks desperate to have worms in their hands. I'm sure we all did that as children anyway. This time of year, the fish are hungry. Few of these in the water, we should see a lot of action. We are not here to catch fish, just to see them. I didn't say anything. Best to see are the speckled trouts. They turn colours in fall to attract mates, bright orange underneath. With that, he starts to lead the way to whatever stream or pond he's hoping to find fish in. Manuel falls in behind me. I like fishing, but at home we get to eat them. How about you? Do you have any fish where you come from? I mean, nearby? Sure. There are fish everywhere, aren't there? In the ocean, at least? There must be. I've never caught a fish myself. Don't you need a boat and a net? That's if you want to catch enough to sell. For one person, a pole and a line is enough. He explains fishing poles and angling to me with a lot of hand gestures. Do we not have fishing poles and angling back where he's from? I mean, maybe it's just saying that he's explaining it with gestures. You can catch them in your paws if you're really lucky, but a pole works better. Linda thinks that everyone should know how to catch their own food. Linda? Oh, my mother, but she likes me to call her by her name. Is that weird? Every family's different. He looks relieved. Do you live in the other world? He's not full human, so it's possible, but he must have strong connections with this world or he wouldn't be attending Iris Academy. Not usually, but we go there to run and hunt. Otherwise there are too many hunters with guns. It's not safe. For wolves? For anyone in the woods in hunting season, if they're not wearing orange. I look down at my bright orange cape and then at his subdued toned yellow. But it's safe here near the school and the park. There's no hunting allowed and there's no magic to turn poachers away. I think. This is an officially recognized school club. They wouldn't let us go out into the woods if it was dangerous, right? My parents will be most displeased if I get myself shot in America. Well, I'm certainly safer following the group than standing here lost in my own thoughts. We'll see if we can find any fish. That is a bit of a scary thought. If you're out in the woods in America, there is a chance that you might get shot by a hunter confusing you for game, basically. Or, you know, maybe you were purposefully shot by a serial killer who poses as a hunter. I don't know. At the end of the week, yada. Ah, there we go. We go into the inventory. Okay. So yeah, we why is this? Oh, I guess it's highlighted here because we have something here and we don't have. Right. We need glasses. We need the fancy wand. I don't like how the glasses make us look. Honestly, I really don't like how they make us look. We'll put on our green charm. Sure. Yeah, 2017. Okay, that's fine. Alright, we can do another week, I think. On Monday morning, someone knocks on my door. Good morning. I'm going around to make sure that all the freshmen know that the next exam will take place this Friday. This Friday? Not next Friday? If the exams are held once every month, I would have expected the next one to be closer to the end of the month. No, next week is the Dark Dance, so there are no classes on Friday. What's the Dark Dance? Oh, I can tell you about that later. I need to make sure that everyone knows about the exam before they set their schedules. Because it's the last chance to learn new spells before needing to use them in the dungeon, so people need to be prepared. Got it? Okay, bye. She hurries away. Well, knowing that I need to be ready for a test, what should I do this week? Well, we have 11 stress first of all. We're gonna do this, and then on the last day actually we should maybe get black magic to 20? So in that case we'll do 17, 18, 19. Sure, let's do it like this. We'll make sure we get enough black magic, and then we'll hopefully get the next 5 in green magic. Black magic class success? Oh, excellent! Today my little explorers will learn one of the most important spells in any Dungeon Delver's arsenal. Aren't you excited? Students blink back at her in silent confusion. Can't you guess? It's my favourite tool of curious minds. And fingers eager to get in where they haven't been invited. It's the spell of opening. With black magic, you can coax an object to open and unlock itself in accordance with its design. A door is designed to open. A table is generally not, unless that table contains a secret compartment. Simple locks, rusty hinges, hidden drawers, these can be opened easily. There are, of course, more complex locks designed to resist general spells, but you'll not be encountering any of those there yet. Be careful. If someone wishes to keep secrets, they may set traps, which are triggered when an item is opened. The spell of opening will not protect you from the consequences. We spend the rest of the class experimenting with magically sealed wooden boxes, a few of which turn out to be just solid blocks of wood. I learn a new spell. Cool. William flags me down in the hallway. Hey, got a minute? Okay, what's up? Well, it happened that my brother Donald's birthday is next week. You see him more than I do. I wondered if you had any idea what he might like for a gift. Isn't he a bit old for that? What do you mean? Sorry, I'm not sure. Where I come from, only children have presents from friends for a birthday. If it were my birthday, I would take everyone out, buy them a meal, so that they could enjoy being with me. But it is different here? Right. If I went for a birthday meal, I would pay, not him. And Donald's feelings would be hurt if I didn't give him some kind of present. Families should always think about family. Am I supposed to give presents? I don't know how this works. Unless he invites you to do something special for a celebration. He wouldn't be expecting the gift. If you want to show that you're a good friend, you could get him a card. Or, just help me think of something and I'll say it's from both of us. We've been here at school for the past few years. I'm a little out of touch. What sort of gift would Donald like? He would obviously like cheese. Is that a traditional gift in your country? No, I mean, most people like cheese and will eat it, but that isn't why I said it. Donald mentioned a great whisker once who filled the school with cheese, or something. He said he was a legend. The Great Williker, right. Well, Donald wants to be a legend too, so he might appreciate that. Interesting. I'll think about it. Thanks. Anytime. We really getting Donald some cheese? Is that how it's going? I mean, that'd be cool. As I'm walking back to my dorm, I see a group of people standing near one of the buildings, neck craning upwards. I look up to see a figure standing on the roof. The sun in my eyes make it hard to see detail, but I think that's a girl in snake-hole robes. Is she going to jump? I move closer, just in time to see Professor Potsdam emerge from a building and come over to join the group on the ground. It looks like they're all seniors. Spread yourselves out a bit more. If you put your hands on your hips, your elbows shouldn't bump anyone. Brian, Isabel, take a step. Now, what's your directions? Keep your focus straight. We don't want her to bounce. Ugh. I will maintain the link to keep your forces balanced, so if you'd please open your minds. Is this a class exercise? Oh, it sounds a little dangerous. There's a vague tingle of magic, and then Potsdam raises her head. You can jump now, dear. I can't watch. When I dare to look back, I see the girl hovering over the heads of the seniors, her arms and legs spread like she's trying to catch hold of the air. She wobbles up and down a bit, but appears mostly steady. Those shoes. Isn't that Barbara Solmoro?
That's right. Ease her lower. Now, peel back.
The seniors standing furthest from the floating girl back away, followed by more until only those directly underneath her remain. That's interesting, like, it takes that many people to cast a spell that can lift someone? I would imagine the professors would be able to cast it themselves, so I'd assume Potsdam is just trying to make this into a class exercise, or a practical exercise, I guess. But yeah, it's interesting that it took so many people to get Barbara down. I'm not sure if it was necessary or not, but hey, it's an interesting thought.
Hold her right there for a moment. Now, move.
The last few seniors dive out of the way as Barbara falls face first onto the ground. Even from only a few feet high, that had to hurt. I'm half expecting her to have a bloody nose when she gets up. If she gets up. But when she pushes herself to her feet, she appears entirely unharmed, just a bit dusty. Of course, Professor Potsdam must have shielded her before she dropped.
I hope you've all had this chance to put your skills into practice.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, I'd assume that she called her student out. That would be a bit embarrassing for Barbara, right? Help, I'm stuck on the ceiling. I'm stuck on the roof of the school. Help me get down. Professor Potsdam's like, sure, I'll be there in a minute. And then she calls out, like, the entire senior class. Like, what? That would be a bit mean, honestly.
What if we have to wrestle an alligator? What if they throw us down a bottomless pit and we can't fly, and we keep falling forever? Dude, relax, or you'll give yourself a hernia.
What's a hernia?
Muscle injury, I think. You can get it from lifting or trying too hard. Anyway, it's just an exam. You'll be fine. And if you really get in trouble, you can always give up and have the teachers rescue you and join me in detention.
Ugh. Well, it'll be over soon enough. Alright, last class. We got 25 green.
Now, are we all feeling energetic today? Full of vigor and vim? When you find yourself in a competition in life, my seedlings, your ability to act quickly may tip the scales in your favor. Slow and steady may beat fast and erratic, but swift and steady is even better. And if you can't be quick yourself, you can always slow your competition down. The spell of slowness means that while the spell lasts, for every 2 moves you make, your target can only make 1. In that condition, you may be able to outfight them, but it would surely be easier to outrun them.
Minnie Cochran raises her hand.
A witch or wizard can cancel the slow spell by casting Energize, isn't that so? Oh yes, that is very clever of you. Even if it isn't cancelled, a slow spell will eventually wear off on its own, so be steady and swift.
Cool, we learned slow. Very good. At the appointed time, I make my way to the testing location. Not the actual testing location, of course, just the place they'll teleport me in from. We can't walk down into the dungeon ourselves, since then we'd already know where the exit was and how to reach it. Showing up here indicates that we're ready to begin. Am I ready? Yeah, sure. Alright, here we go. You find yourselves in the dungeon. You hear something hissing in the distance. Alright. Let's go ahead. Oh, there's a boulder over here. Oh, okay, I know which one this is. I'm going to examine this, writing here. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Okay. I recently watched Frozen 2. Whoa. Okay, that was just that, anyway, I recently watched, Frozen 2. Whoa. Don't plaque on the... Okay, yeah. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but there is a message in Frozen 2 that I think is actually pretty solid advice. And that is, if you don't know what to do, just do the next best thing. And that is honestly very good and very inspirational, I think. I need to figure out what I'm doing here. Sicken trigger, detect charm, open, spirit sense. Diagnosis, track scent, heal, boost strength, sicken, slow. Infection, inscription. So we can't push this boulder, unfortunately. I can attempt to just run through it by buffing myself up. Oh, apparently I got a message. Okay, yeah. So... Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here. Boost strength. Bonus health will be lost when the spell ends. Okay, so we could do that. That'll only cost us 5 out of how much do we have? We have 50. Wow, we have a lot. Okay, in that case, we don't have shape stone. No. That is a shame. Inspection, inscription, trigger, detect charm. So what if we inspect the carving? Perfectly ordinary carving. Sure, whatever. Okay. Nudge the wall. Okay. So normally we would want to get the boulder to impress this this thing right here, and then we can just run through. However, with green magic, we could just attempt to run straight through. Detect charm, spirit sense. Let's just do spirit sense. Sure. No spirits other than myself. Okay. Oh, I've already done track scent. Sorry, I've already ruined track scent, right? Yeah. Cool. Sicken slow. Okay, that won't work. Boost strength. Best thing I can do is boost. What if we try to breeze the breeze thins the gas to the north, but can't clear it all the way. More keeps pouring from the walls. If we had stone shape, we could also just like block these vents. Let's examine the gas. Pulls out of slots in the wall and pulls onto the floor before dissipating. I don't know what black magic you would need to be in order to get to being... Oh, what is it? Wait, what if we just do trigger on this this thing here? I'd assume trigger is only momentary. You cast trigger, the hissing sound fades. Okay. Yeah, right. Oh, I have another idea. What if... Okay, bear with me. We do trigger on that thing. Okay, and now we also cast slow on the carving. The gas is... Okay, let's try trigger again. Oh, it didn't work? No, come on. That was genius. Alright, fine. We're just going to boost strength. Oh, 25? 5? Okay, we're out of there. Okay, sure. Let's just heal myself up a bit. Yep. Heal. Just keep healing. Oh, shoot. Whoops. Whoops. Next thing I know, I'm back in school lying on the floor. Get up. I said get up. Yeah, I think it's a bit cross. I will not pretend to know what you thought you were doing. I do not care whether this result was an accident, an experiment, or some twisted desire for self-mutilation. But if you wished to discover the limits of my patience, then I believe you have found them. If you repeat this performance, you will be sent down. No matter how many merits you have coaxed out of Petunia, I will not stand by to witness students deliberately harming themselves. There are enough problems in this world without you adding to them. Yes, sir. I don't dare say anything else. It doesn't take a wizard to sense how frayed his temper is. For your abysmal performance, you'll receive 10 demerits and detention this Saturday. Yes, sir. Do not assume that someone will always be there to save you. Yes, I mean, no, I understand. Goodbye. Whoops, I forgot that that spell runs out. Alright, well, as we awkwardly walk away from that and very quickly, I'm going to end the episode here. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed and I'll see you next time. Take care.